engaging the community since 1970. This is WIS Awareness.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us today for Awareness. I'm your host, Leland Pinder. Well, next month, there's a really great event taking place in Columbia. It'll be a STEM Expo for kids of elementary age and middle school age. And of course, STEM stands for science, engineering, or technology, engineering, and math. In 2015, President Barack Obama said science is more than a school subject or the periodic table or the properties of waves. It is an approach to the world, a critical way to understand and explore and engage with the world, and then have the capacity to change the world. Well, federal officials say STEM educators, innovators, and researchers will be needed in large numbers in the future. But right now, not enough youth have access to quality STEM learning opportunities, and many don't have an interest in STEM careers. Right now, this morning, I'm joined by some people who are working to change that and increase exposure of STEM to youth who might otherwise not have the chance to experience it. This is Maury Jones and Samuel Martin, just two of the driving forces behind the STEM Expo coming to town in partnership with the Columbia Urban League. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So you guys, you're both from Columbia. You are a Hammond High School graduate, and you went to Keenan here in town, and now you're headed to Harvard University. You're at NC State right now. Why was this important for you all to bring this expo to town? Some folk might say it's a pretty big undertaking for some college students, but maybe not.
Well, this is actually the 7th annual STEM Expo that the Columbia Urban League is hosting this year, and we're essentially in charge of coordinating it. And one big reason that we want to bring it to Columbia is to give students exposure to the STEM field. It's very important that students are able to connect with STEM and not have this misconception that it's something so grand that only geniuses can do it.
Is that something you run into a lot when you're talking to young kids, about your career path and what you hope to do?
Yeah, I know as someone who just finished high school, you hear a lot with high school students that, math is hard, science is hard. It may not be necessarily for me. I think I'm just going to go more of a humanitarian route because it might be easier in some respects. But I think if you have any career in mind, it's always going to be challenging and difficult. And that STEM at the end of the day is always worth it. It's always changing, but it's something that's kind of new in our society, but that if we don't have people that go into it, it's going to get lost, and it's something we should keep. So,
what did it take for you all to bring this together? You're going to have lots of exhibitors on hand. SCANA will be there, Boeing, the Department of Education, USC, Benedict, lots of people there to showcase opportunities that are available to students. How did you bring all this together?
So for that, we kind of looked and saw who led STEM efforts in the city and in the state, and we kind of drew from that. And then once we saw all those and got that list of people together, we then sent them out letters, and we contacted them just asking if they're willing to come out and show what they do.
And we just saw some video from a previous event. This is the 7th one, as you mentioned, and kind of some of the things kids will get to do there. Talk about what opportunities, what jobs, how kids can apply these skills once they learn them as they grow up.
Okay, yeah, so Manuel and the rest of our committee and I, we drafted kind of a guide for students as well as for parents. But for all these opportunities that these exhibitors are going to be showing, is also how do I go about that? I'm only in middle school, what do I do throughout high school that'll get me involved more so in the biology and the physics and stuff like that. And so we kind of laid out a track depending on what career, whether that's, aerospace engineering or just being a mathematician, or maybe you want to work for the CIA, whatever that is. How do I get there and where do I start from, which we thought was important for kids to know. And we kind of put all of that together as well.
Where can we find that information?
Yeah, so at the Expo, we will have the handouts available, and I believe it'll also go up on the website as well, but we will have the handouts available for students as well as for their parents to come and pick up.
Awesome. Okay, so you guys, you're both, you're headed to college. You're already in college, almost done with college, actually. Yes. You're a senior, right?
Yes.
One more year, okay. You're both pursuing STEM careers. Tell me individually what you guys are studying and what got you into that field.
So I'm actually studying biological and agricultural engineering at North Carolina State University. And I've always been inclined for STEM, the science side especially. so taking classes that dealt with biotechnology and things of that nature, that was always something that I'd done, and something that I've enjoyed. So that's what got me into that.
Where did you go to, like a STEM expo like we have coming to town, or are your parents, STEM employed?
No, no, not at all.
Okay.
What got me, I don't even know. It was just something that naturally happened. So if you go and ask my family, like, they'll tell you stories of me taking apart a vacuum cleaner. That's something I did when I was younger. And then middle school, around that era, I started going to STEM camps at like Allen and Benedict and doing things of that nature. And then I actually, at Keenan, they have PLTW classes, Project Lead the Way classes, which are basically engineering, science, technology, and mathematics style courses that prepare you for a career in the STEM field.
So it sounds like you knew kind of early on what you wanted to do when you got to college.
I had a sense of what I wanted to do. So I knew I wanted to be someplace in STEM, but where exactly? I started off in biomedical, and then I changed.
Okay, and that happens.
Yes.
And you stayed in the field, but there are, of course, different facets of STEM and different jobs, expertise, and whatnot. So for you, Maury, what was it for you?
I'm actually doing STEM a little bit differently in college. I want to go into economics and more of the mathematical side of STEM, but I'm also more interested in human rights and civil rights kind of thing. But I think that STEM is kind of in everything, and if you don't understand it, then you miss out a lot on everything else that happens. Like, I know there's one aspect that we're really focusing on a lot this year is entrepreneurship, and the vast amounts of money that is in that field that we've discovered, and I think that the business side, the financial side is more of my alley for STEM, and as far as I want a career in law, so something like that.
And so what was your path? Did you attend an expo, or what was your influence?
Both my parents work in the medical field, so I kind of saw STEM almost every day at home kind of thing, but I didn't want to do medicine. I figured that out, I don't like blood, I don't like broken bones.
Me neither.
Nope. No, it's not for me, so I kind of saw that, but I think throughout school I've always been kind of good at math, and I wanted to use that in some way, take a strength and I guess make it better in a sense, but I was never really a science kind of girl, so I stayed away from that a little bit, but still a basic understanding, yes.
Yeah. Everyone's path is different. That's very cool to hear that from both of you.
Yeah.
Is there a website? We have details of the expo. We're going to pop up here in just a few seconds, but is there a website or anything? Or a few minutes, rather?
So the website about the STEM Expo is www.columbiaurbanleague.org/STEM Expo.
Okay.
And that's basically where you'll find out a little bit of information. And if you want more information about it, you can also call our office, 803-799-8150, and just ask to speak to anyone on the STEM committee.
Okay, so this is the 7th year you guys are doing this, and you plan, I think it's this year, 400 to 500 kids you plan to draw in.
Yes.
I'm assuming, being the most recent expo, that's the most ever. How has it grown over the years? Can you speak to that?
So it's a little different this year. This year we're going to actually have a captive audience, which would be the students that are in the Columbia Urban League youth programs this year, and that's roughly the 400 students that are going to participate. And it's changed. We've had different exhibitors throughout the years, and just a different feel and a different flow to it. So yes.
Oh wow! So now, what's the setup going to be like? Different stations? Is it going to be interactive? What will the setup be like?
Yeah, it'll definitely be interactive. In the morning, we'll have all the exhibitors in the gym at Keenan, all at their different stations. And then when the students come in, they'll just be able to kind of go through the motions and check out all the different exhibitors and see what's available to them and how their resources work and that kind of thing for a few hours as well. And during that time, we will also be having the parent session while the kids are in the exhibitor room going on, where the parents will hear from a speaker and also be given the guide that we were talking about and the resources and opportunities, so they know as well what direction their child should take and what is available when they go back home, since we have 11 different counties coming and not everyone is in the Columbia-Richland area.
Right.
So what they know that they can do when they get back to Aiken or to Lee or whatever kind of thing. So.
Awesome. We'll chat about that, where the kids are coming from here in a couple of minutes. And also, that's a good point. Parents, it's kind of a learning process for them, too, when their kids are interested in these fields. So information is needed on that side as well. Well, here's the information on the actual expo. It's happening on August 11th. It'll be at 9 o'clock that morning. It's at J.W. Keenan High School in Columbia. That's on Pisgah Church Road here in town. Well, coming up next, this expo will serve kids from many different schools and backgrounds and counties, like we just heard. But there is somewhat of a focus on reaching students from more rural and underserved communities. Our guest will explain why that's important after the break.
If you purchase a new heating and cooling system from ARS Rescue Rooter, we will buy back your old one. We'll pay you up to $1,500 for your old, worn-down, inefficient system. In addition, you can have that new system for as low as $83 per month. Visit arscolumbiasc.com.
This week only, you get the whole car for half the price at Galliana on Greystone. New Chryslers and Jeeps 50% off. Or try 2 new 2017 Jeep Compasses for $222 per month. Yes, 2 new Jeep Compasses for $222 per month. New Jeeps starting at $10,237. New Wranglers up to $5,000 off. Plus, get $1,000 more than your trade is worth. Summer clearance event at Galliana on Greystone.
Hurt in a wreck? Don't know what to do? Don't scream, call Akeem.
We've been helping car wreck victims of the Carolinas for over 26 years. Dial all twos now. We got a $600,000 settlement for head-on collision.
To get your attorney, dial all twos.
LexingtonAutoandTruck.com, where we guarantee it. Can't find the car you want? We'll find it. We guarantee it. $2,500 for your trade-in. We guarantee it. Need credit? We guarantee it. LexingtonAutoandTruck.com, where we guarantee it.
No way. He might make it halfway. No, he's not.
That's 9 people.
Flipping over 9 people, now that's hard. They're calling 999-9999.
That's easy. It's all 9s.
Hurt in a car wreck or on the job? Don't flip out. Call all 9s now.
Don't wait. Pick up the phone and call now.
Let George St. Entry lawyers jump the hurdles for you. Call all 9s.
Attention homeowners. With this extreme heat, your air conditioning system is working hard every day. If it suddenly stops, call ARS to the rescue. For a limited time, we'll waive our service call fee with any repair. That's huge savings. Visit arscolumbiasc.com.
Welcome back to Awareness. We're talking about a STEM Expo for young people in Columbia coming to town and ways for youth to get involved in the STEM field. Here's a great infographic put together by the Department of Education that shows just how much the demand for people working in STEM fields is set to grow. And this is data just through 2020. You can see in every job, the demand for these skills will increase by 14%. And then it breaks down into more specific fields. And of course, the numbers only go up from there. And it's also fairly common knowledge that women and minorities are largely underrepresented in STEM careers and STEM fields. So one great thing about this expo is it's bringing in kids from several counties across the state, including kids from schools along the so-called corridor of shame. So joining us, these are the counties here where kids are being drawn from to town for the STEM Expo. And joining us now this morning is J.T. McLawhorn of the Columbia Urban League. And they're a partner in this expo, making it happen. And so, JT, thanks for being here this morning. Tell us about the significance of bringing in kids from all backgrounds, but especially those who might not have a chance to see this kind of thing otherwise.
Well, I think, first of all, we must recognize there's a huge disconnect relative to resources for students in South Carolina. There are so many students in rural areas and others that really don't have access to the resources that's going to be important for them to really navigate through STEM careers and get the type of education they really need. So these students are involved with the Urban League. We have an initiative. It's a year-round program that we work with young people in over 11 counties. And so they're working this summer. We have over 1,100 young people working, getting a paycheck, making money. I mean, this is unparalleled when you think about the lack of opportunities for summer jobs. And so part of our closing program this year, we call it a bridging program. We decided to bring our STEM Expo and incorporate it into our bridging program this year. And we think it's very unique because it's summer. It provides an opportunity for parents to come and participate. And so we're really excited about it because we want young people to understand that STEM is part of our everyday lifestyle. We're going to talk about STEM and athletics, in essence. I mean, a lot of times people want to be professional athletes, but they don't understand, you know, that STEM is very relevant to those pursuits, in essence. I think really what's really important in this whole process is that people need to understand, if you want a livable income, and if you want to be able to move out from your parents' roof, and you want to be able to pay your own phone bill, you want to be able to drive your own vehicle, and you want to be able to just be quasi-independent. I don't think anybody's independent, but you want to be independent from your parents. You've got to have the education background that's going to propel you to a livable income career. There are too many young people now who are staying home. I mean, the data is very alarming because they cannot afford, they don't have the skills to acquire jobs that's going to provide the resources for them so they can be quasi-independent.
That's a really great point. These jobs are highly skilled. It does take time to earn these degrees sometime, but once you do, you come out earning a good bit of money. I mean, that's important at the end of the day. So tell us about, with the Expo, these are elementary and middle school age children. The younger the better they can be exposed to this kind of thing, I would assume, is the best way to go.
I think the conventional wisdom is that catch them early on in elementary and middle school so they can be prepared. But we want young people to know, if you miss those windows, if you miss those classes in elementary and middle school, our team here have put together resources to help them to even catch up, in essence, that you can accelerate in high school. Because people tell you, well, it's too late when you get in high school. If you haven't had these prerequisite courses, then let's forget about it. Now, we cannot write people off. These kids are still young, 14, 15, 16 years old. So we got to give them, instill in them, that there's a window of opportunity for you. And so our staff are doing a great job and putting information together for them, you know. And I also want to just really express our appreciation to those companies that have been part of our foundation for STEM. The Boeing Corporation is our title sponsor this year. And we just have many, many supporters because these employers understand that if they're going to be competitive in the global economy, they must have employees that are competent and that can compete globally. So this is a win-win for everybody.
All right. Thanks, JT. We'll be right back here on Awareness in just a few minutes.
Some numbers you just don't forget.
My address.
Our anniversary.
George Sink Injury Lawyers. I'm attorney George Sink. When you're hurt, there's only one number to remember. Call all nines.
999-9999.
Why buy just one when you can buy two? Two new Kias for $222 per month at Galliana Kia on Greystone. We've been challenged to break a sales record. The only way we can do it is by selling two at a time. Two new Fortes, two new Souls, two new Optimas, or mix and match any two for $222 per month. Two new Kias for $222 per month at Galliana Kia on Greystone.
What is this? A mistake?
Baby, let's go see.
Help me get the keys to the kingdom.
This ain't easy, man. We all a long way from easy.
This city has problems, but change is coming.
It's gonna be good. You sure? Yeah.
Detroit, rated R, now playing in select theaters.
So very Sansbury.
Hey, moms and dads, listen up. You've gotta help us kids start the school year off right with the back-to-school eye exam. So we gotta see Sansbury. It's really simple. We gotta see our best and look our best, whether we're in the classroom or hanging out with friends. Helping us look great and see great. That's so very Sansbury.
So very Sansbury Eye Center.
Hey everyone, we're here asking people who would they call if they're hurt in a car wreck or on the job. If you guys were hurt in a car wreck, who would you call? All nice.
The police?
Excuse me, sir.
That's easy, George Sink Injury Lawyers.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, you know what to do. Call all nines now.
Welcome back to Awareness This Morning. Again, we're talking about the 2017 STEM Expo coming here to Columbia on August 11th. And right now I'm joined by Mary and Samuel and JT McLaughlin from the Columbia Urban League. And they're part of a group putting this on for the kids in the city of Columbia and really all over the state. 11 counties from different schools will be coming to town for this event. So, Mary, tell me, I'm sure you have friends. You just finished high school, again, headed to Harvard, who have maybe said to you, I can't believe you're doing that, like science and math, anything involving numbers and graphs, that's not for me. What would you say to those kids, and what resources are available to them?
Okay, well, like I said earlier, I feel like there's not a career path out there really that you can go into where you don't have to use math, where you don't use science, or where you don't have to have a basic understanding of kind of how the world works around you in a sense. So I feel like if you have the better understanding, like we were talking about, the starting salary for some of these STEM careers is above like the top salary of some of the other careers available out there. So I feel like the amount of opportunities, and opportunity just isn't something that you should miss, is available and it's out there, and that I feel like students shouldn't write things off before you've given it a shot. Like, I feel like if you go into statistics and you realize that you really just are not good at it, then okay, switch. But I think you should give everything that's available a chance first. And I think the world is changing so much, and we've become so much more technologically dependent, that there are so many resources out there to get better at certain things. Like if you feel like your math scores are low and that you can't test as well as the next person on the SAT or whatever, I used Khan Academy a lot in high school. That's available. Samuel and I were talking the other day about the college resources and the college outreach programs available for high school students. Even in South Carolina, the University of South Carolina has a great STEM outreach program for middle school and high school students, because they know that middle school age is kind of the turning point of kind of establishing what you're good at, what you're not good at. But these programs are available if you look for them, and they are in our guide as well for parents and for students that are all over the state, including at Clemson, including at Benedict. They're everywhere. So,
but also they have these things while you're still in high school, I would imagine. So just having recently graduated yourself, what are some of those resources you remember back at your high school?
Yeah, so in high school, you have the elite math teams and stuff like that, but you also there are always strong tutoring programs, like whether they're through the counties or through your own school, that are there to help students, whether that's improve your test scores or whether that's just to develop a skill that you didn't think about to begin with, like even financial services of how to write a check, how to budget money, things like that you will need after you graduate. Like a lot of those things are available through independent high schools, but also through the districts and the Department of Education that shouldn't be overlooked as well.
So I want to switch to you here, Samuel. We talked about jobs earlier. I know one thing that always sticks out to me is when I'm driving down the road and you see construction workers, construction zones and that kind of thing, or like big structures like bridges, someone had to design that, had to build that, had to measure that. So just what are some of the jobs and opportunities that are out there that people might first not think of when they think of STEM? Because they might just think of a scientist in a lab coat with glasses on, but that's not all it is.
Yes, no, you're correct. That's not all it is. There are so many things: architects, physical therapists, almost everything. Like the people here that are helping with the production of this, they have to know how to use whatever programs that y'all have running, the cameras and everything. And like Mari said, relating back to all careers, there are so many careers that are out there, so many jobs that are out there that require you to know how to use basic computer operating systems, different coding programs, things of that nature. And if you can think of a job, you can think of there's some type of STEM that is related to it.
And would you guys say, at the end of the day, it's kind of fun. This stuff can be fun. It's not, all books and classrooms and tests and whatnot. It can be exciting stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
I think STEM is definitely very hands-on in a lot of careers. And I also think that sometimes you just don't really think about it. Like, you're doing it and you don't even know it, when you're doing your math homework or when you're helping your mom grocery shop and you have to think about, how much is this? How much of this will we eat per week? That kind of thing. Like, all of that is mental math, which is important, but it is STEM at the end of the day. Like, I think it kind of gets a bad rap of being, the nerdy kids that are just looking through their textbooks for fun kind of thing. But it's something that we all really do, so it's important to know that you're doing it. And
It's
how
really
you-
involved in everything. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
We're going to take one more quick break here, and we're going to talk more about parents and their involvement with their kids who want to pursue these STEM careers and STEM jobs after the break.
If you purchase a new heating and cooling system from ARS Rescue Rooter, we will buy back your old one. We'll pay you up to $1,500 for your old, worn-down, inefficient system. In addition, you can have that new system for as low as $83 per month. Visit arscolumbiasc.com.
All right, who did you call?
When I got hurt, I called George Sink.
I'm attorney George Sink. If you want to get all the money you deserve, call George Sink Injury Lawyers at 803 all nines.
George Sink Injury Lawyers settle my case
for $300,000.
For $100,000.
$225,000.
We can help you get the money you need to get your life moving again. Just call 803 all nines.
Get George Sink Law Firm on the line. Call 999-999.
Let's face it, it's easy to put off seeing your dentist, no matter how many times you're reminded. And if you don't have dental insurance, you might not go at all.
Hi, this is Katie from Family Dental. You're due for a cleaning. Give us a call.
But don't let that stop you. Give Physicians Mutual Insurance Company a call. For as little as $1 a day, we can help cover all the dental services you're most likely to need. Cleanings, fillings, crowns, even dentures. Plus, you can see any dentist you want. There are no networks, no deductibles, and no annual maximum. So don't stop going to the dentist, especially if you're retired or on Medicare. It's just not worth the problems you could face later on. Get the dental care you deserve. Call now and we'll send you a free information kit with all the details about this affordable dental insurance. Don't wait for another reminder. Call 1-800-509-5787 for your free information kit. That's 1-800-509-5787. Call now.
Attention homeowners. With this extreme heat, your air conditioning system is working hard every day. If it suddenly stops, call ARS to the rescue. For a limited time, we'll waive our service call fee with any repair. That's huge savings. Visit arscolumbiasc.com.
All right, thanks for joining us. JT, real quickly before we go, what do parents need to know about this expo and getting their kids involved in STEM?
Parents need to know that their biggest investment is their children, and that STEM is a pathway for career opportunities.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you to all of you for being here this morning. What a great discussion we've had. Again, here are the details if you want to go on your screen. August 11th at Keenan High School. Have a great morning.
After